And here we go. Look at that. It's FXO's mOOnGlaDe spawning as our purple Zerg player down at the bottom left part of Teldrim Altar. His opponent is going to be the fearsome Incredible Miracles IMYounghwa, spawning as our red Protoss player at about the 4 o'clock position on Teldrim Altar. And here we go again. It is ZVP. It's a big map. mOOnGlaDe's got a lot of experience in this situation, so we'll have to see how he does, what strategy he decides to choose for this. A lot of Zerg players would get gas first, but it is such a big map, he could risk hatch first.
Well, oops, there's a kind of a little bit like from mOOnGlaDe here, but just to talk a little bit about ZVP on this map. Really common opening are Forge openings. Not really 4-gate, Forge openings, 3-gate expand, or Phoenix opening, because the maps are really wide and Phoenix are fast. Those are the best things that Protosses can use to harass in early game. And really common strategy for Zerg as well for this map would be just a normal 14 extractor, 14 full, and a speedling opening into expansion, into a pretty fast expand, I would say. Here comes the scout from IMYounghwa.
IMYounghwa is going to be able to find his opponent right away. A little bit of a lucky break there, but that should also give mOOnGlaDe a pretty good idea of where his opponent is as well. So hopefully he's able to take that information and use it. We see him putting down that spawning pool right there. He knows he's in about as close of positions as you can be in this map, so no need to risk a hatch first in this case. Now IMYounghwa looks like he may actually go for a 15 Nexus. I think that's probably what we're going to see here. He's certainly saving up a lot of minerals. It's going to be a couple more seconds now. IMYounghwa doing a little bit more scouting. Here comes the probe.
Wow.
And indeed, IMYounghwa playing a little bit risky
Nexus.
this game. Now the question is mOOnGlaDe going to be able to punish this? Or is IMYounghwa going to get a great economy?
Well, the question is if he is able to scout this, because the moment he scouts this, I mean, the only thing he can do is try to either match an economy or go for some uber roach timing push.
Yeah, and I mean, at this point, a lot of Zerg players, I think, would just decide to go all in. Nothing wrong with doing that. You don't want to get into a long macro game against Protoss right now in the StarCraft 2 metagame. So if he can get that kill early on, that's really the way to do it. Forge going down for IMYounghwa as well. He's probably going to put down another gateway or two in a pylon to wall off with.
Absolutely.
And here comes the probe for mOOnGlaDe. He's going to see everything. Oh, no, he's not. Can the probe get in? Nope. The drone, rather, cannot get in.
Well, he knows for sure that such an opening and a cover like that would definitely mean that the other guy went for a fast expansion. Plus, his gateway is so late, so I guess mOOnGlaDe definitely knows that it was a 15 Nexus. So, I mean, since he has put on the hatchery, what he can do is go for either a timing attack or get a really fast second expansion and just play a long macro game.
Yeah, he could do just exactly what Maro did too and just cancel the hatch. He doesn't have the Roach Warren up, but you could give it a try. Now, the positioning at IMYounghwa's wall, having that cannon kind of out in the open there, I feel like that's a little bit risky. He threw it down there to prevent the drone from scouting. But it's really not the best position for a cannon. That's pretty easily bustable, I guess you could say. So I wonder if that might come back to haunt him.
Well, I actually highly doubt that he would cancel that hatch. I mean, judging by mOOnGlaDe's playstyle, he would just go for maybe heavy lean to try to contain the Protoss player while he tries to out macro IMYounghwa. A lot of players in Korea, when they play ladder with Glade, they actually do not like to play late game with him because his macro is so strong. So most players just try to cheese him to death.
Yeah, makes sense.
You've seen the Wind do it, right?
Yeah, exactly. We're probably going to see more of that next season too, maybe even the first round as well. The Wind, of course, actually in the group with OGS MC. Actually, the Wind asked MC to pick him, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah. I think it is because they are going to an event together, so they have to, you know, get the same schedule. But the bad thing is it kind of backfired, and then Supernova was placed in the group as well.
Yeah, it really is too bad. We're going to have to see if the coach decides to take one for the team, or if he's going to try to go. I know the Wind is a pretty competitive guy, but speaking of competition, here is a way to get competitive against Zerg. You get a Stargate. And 2 more gases at your natural. That's going to give you plenty of gas to pump out. A lot of Phoenixes really fast, maybe a Void Ray or 2.
Oh my god. I think we might actually see a drop coming in from mOOnGlaDe.
Yeah, he is researching drop, and this is something that we actually saw for the first time in the GSO World Championship team tournament. We saw Baneling drops being done by the World All-Star players, and it actually worked pretty well. And I know those guys have been using that strategy on the ladder a lot more around here, and have been having a lot of success with it. So, especially, I've heard TT1 complain about it a lot. He has had it done to him quite a bit.
Well,
so yeah, I think that's what we're going to see here too, and it's going to be pretty cool.
Well, watching him practice so much lately, it has been Speedling and Baneling's drop. It's not really Roach or Hydra drops that a lot of Zerg players like to do. He likes to go for tier 1 drops, which are really interesting because then you have the mobility in the base of the Protoss player, and most of the time they are caught completely off guard. Now, the bad thing to this is that IMYounghwa actually has Phoenixes, so not only would he be able to scout the drop, but he might be able to snipe down a few if Glade waits too long, which might not actually be a problem because here comes the first Overlord and drop is almost researched, about maybe 30 seconds more.
Yeah, it's going to be coming up pretty quick now. He's morphing in the Banelings. The Banelings should finish at almost the exact time. The drop is... Oh no, the Phoenixes find the drop. This is a disaster for Epic. So mOOnGlaDe, he's got absolutely nothing that can hit air. All those Overlords are going to be taken out, or at least a great majority of them. This is about the worst thing that could have happened. I don't know how he's going to be able to do this. It looks like he's going to send the Banelings around to the front. He's going to try to bust in. And
he's so supply blocked right now.
He could, yeah, he is very supply blocked. He needs to make this work. Only one cannon defending, so IMYounghwa could still be in a good amount of trouble. mOOnGlaDe morphing in some more Banelings there. Here come the Banelings here. There are no sentries to defend. Here comes more sentries now. Force fields preventing the Zealots actually from getting to a lot of the Zerglings there.
Probes.
Providing an escape route for the probes, though. Here comes some Banelings. Not quite able to get to the probes, though. Oh, some of them get in there. Oh, a lot of probes taken out by the Banelings. Oh, more of them being taken out. Beautiful. So mOOnGlaDe, the drop was found, but it's working. Wow. I did not expect that to work.
In his main base,
wow.
Let's take down the natural of IMYounghwa, and IMYounghwa is definitely quite off guard. Has an insane amount of Phoenixes, but Phoenixes, you know, can't really counter Speedlings, and
well,
all he has to do is get back into the game, try to get some economy up, and go for another round of attack. I think that would secure him the game.
Yeah, great job by mOOnGlaDe. He's going to try to run in here again. He's got enough Speedlings to cause a lot of damage again. mOOnGlaDe, the one thing he really has to deal with is being continuously supply blocked by these Phoenixes, but Phoenixes aren't going to end games for you. They're just going to basically delay them. Here comes mOOnGlaDe again. The sentries do not have a lot of energy. Only a couple force fields going down there, but mOOnGlaDe does need to pull back with those Zerglings.
I think his goal overall has been achieved, because if you look at economy, he is pretty much ahead of IMYounghwa at this point of time. Yeah. IMYounghwa is going for DT though. Pretty risky, I would say, for him, because I mean, mOOnGlaDe is so aggressive right now, and if he gets DT and invests so much gas into it, it's very hard for him to actually transit out of it.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, I mean, it's going to take a ton of gas to get those Dark Templars out. If they're able to catch mOOnGlaDe a little bit off guard, it could work, but if they're not, I mean, mOOnGlaDe already has Spore Crawlers up at his natural and his main, so that, you know, he built them to prevent the Phoenixes from causing as much damage, but they're also going to give him vision of those Dark Templars as well. So I'm actually really surprised that IMYounghwa is going for DTs, but, you know, he's going to give it a try. He's going to use a lot of gas to do it, so that may give mOOnGlaDe the edge he needs to come in and finish the job, but at least mOOnGlaDe has that edge economically.
You know, he lost a really huge amount of Overlords, and he's been trying his best to try to repop them. So he wasted not really waste, but he had to spend quite a lot of money on that. Plus, at the same time, he's getting Hydras, which are so expensive. Like you said, there's Spore Crawlers out on the field, so I'm not really sure why he decides to go for DT. I don't really see that it would do a lot of damage.
Yeah, it is a little bit surprising.
Yeah, so interesting.
Well, he could also use them defensively as well. I mean, mOOnGlaDe does not have any Overseers out on the map that I know of yet. Nope, no Overseers. So
yeah, but he has Lair, and he also has speed upgrades. So
yeah, he can make them pretty quickly. Now,
very soon we would see. Go ahead.
Now the income tab does show mOOnGlaDe still slightly ahead, 46 over 42, but IMYounghwa is catching up. So despite the initial success of that bust, I don't know, it's going to be tough for mOOnGlaDe to actually get in there and finish the game at this point. But here come 3 DTs from IMYounghwa. We're going to have to see if they can cause any damage at all. mOOnGlaDe will have vision of them right away, but they still do a lot of damage, so mOOnGlaDe does have Hydras out now.
What IMYounghwa can do is he can try to distract mOOnGlaDe by putting his Phoenixes into his main base and then come into the natural with those DTs. But I mean, I just don't see IMYounghwa having an opening for DTs. Yeah, I mean, now we can see he might use that to try to deny the fast expansion. But like I said, mOOnGlaDe actually does have Lair, and he has Overlord speed, which means he's going to be able to get a fast Overseer really quickly.
Yeah, exactly. Now, the big problem, like you mentioned a little bit earlier, is that mOOnGlaDe's behind in the army count, largely because of losing so many Overlords early in the game, due to that failed drop and then the massive amount of Phoenixes that IMYounghwa's had around the map. But as soon as he's able to get that Overlord count back up again, I think we're going to see his economy really start to skyrocket. Now, big problem for mOOnGlaDe, though, is IMYounghwa did just take his 3rd base, so if he can get that established, it's going to make things very, very difficult for mOOnGlaDe.
Well, at the same time, he's going so heavy Hydras, but he's not really spreading creep. So Hydras are, as you know, extremely slow off creep. So what I would see is him actually trying to do a Hydra drop later on.
Yeah, that's definitely possible. Hydra drops are very useful when your opponent gets more than about 3 Phoenixes or so. Now mOOnGlaDe does have his 3rd base up and running, but there are 3 DTs going after it. I don't know if mOOnGlaDe's going to be able to save it. He's certainly not. mOOnGlaDe loses that 3rd hatchery. That's another big blow to him. Now there is a 3rd base again for mOOnGlaDe up at the 11 o'clock position. Now it's going to take a while for IMYounghwa to scout that. If he's good with his Phoenixes, he'll be able to find it a little bit quicker than you would normally see. Now mOOnGlaDe did get his Spire up as well as a Roach Warren too, so he's got a lot of different unit options right now. So I think the idea is that he can try to counter, but a drop coming in from mOOnGlaDe somewhere. It looks like he's getting prepared to drop.
But very soon IMYounghwa would start scouting to the other side of the maps. Because it's impossible that so late into game, the Zerg hasn't tried to expand yet. I kind of dislike the way how he decides to use Roaches and hasn't really spread creep yet, because Roaches are, Hydras. Hydras are so bad off creep. Really soon we will see how IMYounghwa is going to I think would actually destroy mOOnGlaDe, because he does have the Colossus out, and Colossus do insane damage against Hydras.
That is a pretty beefy army waiting for mOOnGlaDe. Things are not looking good. That's a good amount of Hydras, but it's not enough to win that. Those sentries have plenty of energy, and that Hydra army is going to get cut into multiple pieces if he tries to attack. So mOOnGlaDe needs to be very, very careful right now, going for that 3rd. But IMYounghwa is ready. And here we go. This is not good for mOOnGlaDe. Oh no. Very lucky there that he only lost about 6 Hydras, actually.
Yeah, that's actually an absolutely horrible place to engage, because your army can get cut so easily.
Yeah.
The choke
I'm kind of surprised that mOOnGlaDe decided to do that rather than just use his Overseer to get vision on the high ground and try to pick off like the Assimilator and a couple of the other buildings, some pylons and things like that. But decided to try. Now there is a DT going after the army.
There's an Overseer with him though, so that is not going to do much of a problem. See, the bad thing is mOOnGlaDe has his expansion really far away, so that also means that it's very hard for him to move and saturate his base using what he already has. IMYounghwa must be thinking to himself, okay, where is his expansion? This is not right. So I think very soon he will start scouting, which he hasn't done yet, and I'm actually really surprised. And he's dropping down a 4th base right now. And he has already been so ahead in economy because Glade has been, see, there you go, here comes the scout. Glade has been unable to actually saturate his second expansion.
Yeah, unfortunately. Now, IMYounghwa did also find that base, just like he said, so now he knows about it. mOOnGlade's not really going to be able to produce a whole lot. IMYounghwa can't really move out all the way with his army, but he can certainly send DTs up there, maybe put a pylon close by, put in some Zealots. Looks like he's just going to send a group of Zealots and a Dark Templar up to that base. Not a
This
bad
is
idea.
interesting because mOOnGlaDe is not getting any roaches at all. Hasn't got roach speed, hasn't got tunneling claw, so he wants to do this. He wants to go this speed bane Hydra attack. We would see very soon how effective it would be because this is definitely a new style that we are seeing here from him.
Yeah, I love that we're seeing Zerg players try a lot of different things right now. That I mean, they really need to. PvZ is at a point where the Zerg is a little bit behind in the metagame right now, so we're going to see a lot of new strategies coming up in the near future. mOOnGlaDe attacking again. Questionable force fields from Younghwa. Could have maybe used those to split the army.
Oh my
mOOnGlaDe's
god!
going to attack again through the choke. It's not the best idea. More zealots coming into the natural, but there should be enough spine crawlers to take that out. That first one will go down. The queen will be able to help out. mOOnGlaDe not really transfusing. Again, mOOnGlaDe thinking about attacking here.
So at this point in time, he's getting roaches, but I think it is a little bit too late because he hasn't even got roach speed yet, so it is not going to do much for defending. Right now, Glade is just trying to burn the energy of Younghwa, but at the same time, Younghwa has a perfect ball up already. He has a good amount of Stalkers, good amount of Colossus. I mean, it's really hard for me to Phantom Glade winning this one.
Yeah, the Hydras are dying so quickly. mOOnGlaDe also does not know about the 4th base of Younghwa, which is also pretty bad. He actually could just go kill it right now, but he doesn't know it exists. And in the meantime, that 3rd base for mOOnGlaDe was taken out by all those zealots that were sent out a little bit earlier. So overall, mOOnGlaDe's in big trouble right now, and he does not see the drones transferring either, or the probes rather. Just barely missed it. Things just totally not going mOOnGlaDe's way this game.
Well...
Ouch. Oh, he did find it though now. So mOOnGlaDe will take out this base. Unfortunately, I think Younghwa's army will be able to trap him then. Once he gets in there, we'll see if Younghwa decides to do that or just sacrifice the base. He doesn't really need it, quote unquote, per se right now.
Yeah, he has so much
he will just
money,
allow that to die.
and Glade does not even have a 200-foot army. He's running so low on economy, just getting roach speed, which it's a little bit too late in my opinion. He's going to try to come in from the side again, which is kind of a really bad place to be caught as a Zerg player. He wants to go for this though, Doa.
He is focusing down the Nexus. He is going to get it. If he gets the Nexus and pulls away, that's a great decision, and that's exactly what he does. mOOnGlaDe taking out the Nexus and moving away. Younghwa will need to rebuild it, but mOOnGlaDe will slow him down a little bit. But I think Younghwa has had enough. That is a fearsome Colossus Void Ray army. A lot of Stalkers and a good amount of Sentries chasing as well. And I think mOOnGlaDe is in serious trouble right now.
Hydras are so slow off screen, Doa.
Yeah, extremely slow. GG-Yo from mOOnGlaDe. Younghwa takes out a 3rd member of the GSL World Championships World All-Stars.